What's up, you guys? This is Jorge from Rhythm Connection here at Babylon Nightclub in Ottawa. So tonight I have a very special guest with me here, rocking it K-Town, California, worldwide, you know, the main man himself, Dumbfoundead.
Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for having me. Much respect, yeah.
Cool, man. So, firstly, I guess since you've just been touring around Toronto for this Notorious, you were just performing at Blackout. So, talk about that. I mean, you know, Drake was hosting and everything. You know, like I heard it was a really big thing. Just talk about what was running through your mind at the time.
Yeah, man, it was really dope. It's been 5 years since my last battle, so that's a huge deal for me. But the fact that, yeah, someone like Drake, like, acknowledged me and said something like he used to watch my battles and shit was like a trip to me, you know? Yeah. But it was amazing, man. It made me kind of fall in love with battling all over again, just seeing a lot of the battlers, like, you know, I was just like, kind of in awe of the talent. It was crazy, and I see battling as like a whole nother thing, you know? It's not just like it's not just rapping. It's like you go up there and you do like a one-man show, you know? It's like theater. It's like all of that in one, you know? And Blackout was sick. It was like the Kumite blood sport of like battle rap, you know? You had the illest cats come from all over the US, Canada, Europe, dudes with English accents, Australian accents. Like, it was the best of the best, which was sick.
Sure, man. So I guess with that in mind, I mean, you know, you've been doing rapping for a really long time. I mean, you know, you went from battle rapper to, like, you know, being featured on tours with some pretty big names to even featuring in K-pop artist tracks. I mean, like Kahi, J Park, Brian Ju, like, it's some pretty big stuff. So I mean, like, you know, what are your thoughts on where, you know, hip-hop's been going, you know, in this day and age, kind of, you know, all the different trends that you've seen worldwide, you know, even recently the whole thing with OG Maco and Keith Ape and all the whole thing of the racial appropriation thing he's been talking about. But what are your thoughts on where hip-hop is going these days?
Well, I think it's interesting because there's so many different subgenres of hip-hop, you know what I mean? There's like trap to like jazzy hip-hop to conscious hip-hop to just turn up shit, you know? There's all sorts of styles, but there's room for everybody, you know, for this, you know? But I think that the issue of race and, you know, cultural appropriation, that's stuff that should be talked about, you know? I don't think anybody should brush it off like it's not important. I do think it's important. Do I think all people who get accused of that are guilty of that? No, I don't think so. But they should address it. They shouldn't brush it off. And I think that's where, like, Iggy Azalea got in trouble because she didn't really address it, you know? She was just like, I'm just going to do my thing. No, like, you should talk about it. You should pay homage, you know? And that's the only thing. Like, you're going to get a lot of heat if you don't come from a place of honesty and like you really loving the culture. And I'm not saying she doesn't, but I'm saying you gotta tell them, you know.
No, definitely, man. So I mean, you know, aside from all the recording and tour you're doing, you know, you've been also the co-host for a little show called Danny from LA. So how's that experience been for you? I mean, you know, you've had to kind of flex your Korean speaking skills quite a bit more, you know, to learn more about K-pop. I mean, how's that whole experience been for you, you know, coming from a very hip-hop background, just kind of being thrown even more into that world?
I mean, I love it. I love the fact that I can do a show like that has something that it's all about K-pop entertainment, and then I can like hop on a stage at Blackout and then like serve some dude, you know what I mean? Like, it's dope to be in these crazy juxtaposition of worlds. Like, I feel blessed that I can do that. Not a lot of rappers can do that. You know, they can't get away with that, you know what I mean? But I'm glad that I have all this freedom to do whatever I want, and to me it's like, that's awesome. I don't need to be ashamed of anything. Like, I can do this, do that, like all sorts of different projects, you know, which I think like real hip-hop artists that you know, I just like that part of element of these different types of hip-hop artists who are able to do that, you know? Yeah. Like, really express yourself honestly and not trying to flex so hard, you know?
No, definitely. I guess that being said, who's been, I guess, because you've met your share of people while being a co-host on that show, any memorable stories with any one particular guest that you met, I guess, while being on the show?
On Danny from LA?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think, honestly, just meeting Danny in general was a big honor, you know, because I didn't grow up on K-pop music, you know, but everybody around me, like my family to like friends, like consider him like an OG in the game, and working with him was a pleasure. You know, he's a good dude, and that was a really good experience.
Oh, for sure, for sure. So I guess my next big question for you, I guess, what's next for you, I guess, after this tour? Because I know you're always pumping out tracks and stuff, and you know it's always a very big delight for fans to see, you know, what you're working on next. You know, oh, you know, who's Dumb gonna collaborate next? This actually, I definitely have to ask after, you know. Back on everything. Any plans for collaboration with OVO in the future or anyone big like that, man?
I mean, that's huge. You know, that almost seems like out of my reach. I mean, not so much now since like I've heard Drake say my name and shit. You know, which was cool. But I will say, you know, of course, I have so many people I want to collaborate with that I haven't had the opportunity to do so. And you know, a lot of people, it's so weird when I go to these battle events and people look at me like an OG. I'm like, damn, I consider myself to be like such a new artist still, you know. But that's amazing that I inspire a lot of young people, you know. But I don't want to like be like I'm the OG yet, you know. I'm still trying to climb the ranks and do my thing, you know. But of course, I want to collab those guys. I'm a huge fan of like Drake, OVO, that whole squad, as well as like, all these cats we're talking about right now, you know. So
shoot that. Definitely. So you know, you've made a very big mark in hip hop, you know, coming out with all these different tracks, working with all these different artists. So what would you say is your next big milestone in terms of, I guess, where you want to take your career direction wise?
I definitely want to really just up everything, the production and the beats, the rhymes, like everything I do, I'm gonna pump up like crazy this year. You know, I've been like the independent underground guy for a while that people respect, but I need to graduate from that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to really like just take it to the next level. Like I don't want to be the OG. Like, oh, remember him, man? He was a legend. No, I don't want to be like the dude who's already up there and out there, and like people be like, oh man, I want to be like him one day, you know? Yeah. Like not like, oh, look at the guy down the bar, like that guy used to be a legend, you know, like that kind of shit. So
cool, man. Yeah. So the next couple questions just kind of more like for fun type of thing. So just first 5 that come to mind. What are your 5 most played songs right now? Just it can be anything.
5 most played songs. I don't know about songs in particular, but I've been playing the D'Angelo album a lot. Oh, yeah. I love the D'Angelo album. Man, I just heard Kendrick's new song, Black of the Berry, which was crazy. I've been playing the J. Cole album. Yeah. You know, a lot of the albums that a lot of people just play, you know what I'm saying, and the music. But I don't know, like, to me, a lot of the recent Kendrick's and like J. Cole's and stuff because I love turn up shit, don't get me wrong. I love all the turn up shit, all the OG Maco, all the stuff we're talking about, the Ichima, all that. But it's kind of refreshing you need that balance, you know, and it's refreshing to hear some like conscious shit nowadays. And when you hear any kind of like cat spitting some real shit, like, you know, in the mainstream, you're like, damn, you can't help but to respect it. And it kind of inspires me to like, you know, maybe like, okay, let me take a break from this turn up shit and like work on some let me say some shit in my next songs, you know? Oh,
definitely, man. I'd say in regards to that, just kind of following up, any advice for anyone who's looking to, you know, pursue a career in music, whether it be as a producer, a singer, a rapper, just kind of based on your experience that you can impart with the viewers, I guess?
I mean, it's just really about just, you know, working at your craft, really. I think a lot of people try to think about all these things like, oh, who would I have to meet? Like, can I give a demo to you? Like, I don't think any of that is really important until your craft is ready to be, you know, be seen or heard. Yeah. You know, so keep working on your craft. I think if you're talented, then you're going to naturally get discovered. You know what I'm saying? I think talent is the most undeniable thing, you know? Yeah, I mean, there's talent that doesn't get heard, but if you're hungry as an MC, like, being an MC is not just being in your room rapping. Like, being an MC means you're going to be out there and rapping any chance you get in front of people. So to me, if you're a dope MC, you're going to get heard, you know? You got to be confident. You got to have the confidence as much as having the lyrics. So
Cool, man. So, last question for you. I guess anything you want to say to your Canadian Ottawa fans? Just give a shout out to the viewers, man.
Yeah, this is my first time in Ottawa, and I definitely got to come here again, man. I want to come to Canada more often. Hopefully, some of this King of the Dot involvement will help me, expand my audience out here. I just met like Mad Child. I know he was in Swollen Members, and he does stuff out here. And I want to collab with more Canadian artists too. But yeah, every time I come up here, man, it's mad love. So I love it. Yeah, it's tight.
Cool, man. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. And guys, make sure you check out his music. Catch him on tour in the States. I believe your next show is in New York, I think?
It's in Rhode Island.
Rhode Island, okay. So he'll be on tour quite a few places. And I think you got Lyrics and Rex Dizzy touring with you a couple stops as well. So this guy is, blowing up really quickly. So make sure to check his shit out. Keep it real, guys. Rhythm Connection here all day, every day.